This is the sailing vessel Adventureborne, a beautifully modernized 1984 Beneteau Idylle, 11.5 meters or 38 feet long. She's a sloop-rigged monohull with a fin keel and a skeg-hung rudder. Her beam is 12 feet wide, with a shallow draft of 4.5 feet deep and an air draft of 52 feet tall. She's held securely by a 45-pound Vulcan rocknut anchor with 125 feet of 5/16 stainless steel chain and an extra 100 feet of nylon rode beyond that. I've been living aboard full-time for the past 6.5 years, ever since I bought her in Cape Cod, Massachusetts for $23,000 cash. Since then, I've poured time, love, and hard-earned money into this boat, refitting, repairing, upgrading, and improving her from the ground up. She's gone from a tired old cruiser to my dream adventure home on a budget. And thanks to that effort, her value today is far greater. Not just in dollars, but what she can do. From solo passages to remote island exploration, Adventureborne's proved her worth on every journey, totaling nearly 10,000 nautical miles of distance sailed. This boat is the ultimate off-grid adventure machine, especially when she's out here in a tropical paradise doing what she was made to do. Now let's take a deeper look at my humble floating home and everything that makes Adventureborne one of a kind. Welcome on board my sailboat, Adventureborne. We're gonna start this tour up on the bow, and then we'll work our way back through the cockpit, the dinghy, and then down inside. Let's check it out. Walking up the deck here, we've got plenty of space to move through. This area of the boat is called the foredeck. Fore meaning forward, and deck meaning the top surface here. It's a great place to lounge around and enjoy a beautiful day. At the very frontmost of the boat is actually the anchor. Right now it's set in about 9 feet of water, giving me this as my home for as long as I want and absolutely free. When sailing or motoring underway, the Dolphin Chaser, is a great place to sit, watch the waves, and enjoy the journey. The chain and anchor then can be retracted up here to the bow, where you can see I made a custom bow shield with stainless steel, and even the chain that I have for my anchor is stainless steel. A large portion of the foredeck is actually this door right here, which opens up to the anchor locker. Here is the windlass that'll help me pull in the anchor, but oftentimes I'll sit inside of it like so, and I'll pull my anchor hand over hand. With the anchor locker closed, I can now get back to enjoying the foredeck. That's a great place to lounge out. This is a forwardmost of 2 hatches on the boat, draws air in, and brings it down into here into the V-berth, which we'll check out later. This is the largest, and at a good anchorage, the best bed to be in on the boat. Midship of the top deck here, we've got a gaff, boat hook, another boat hook, and then my lines, running and standing rigging all here, connecting up to the mast. My mast is about 52 feet tall from the water. Each of these lines here is known as a halyard, meaning they connect to go up to the top of the mast and they will raise and lower a sail. These lines, however, are known as sheets. In particular, these are jib sheets, which pull my jib forward and back. Supporting this 52-foot and several hundred-pound aluminum mast are these shrouds on the sides, as well as a forestay hidden as a cable underneath and inside this jib, and then a backstay going all the way to the back and going through the top of my Dodger. Behind the mast, we've got a few winches to help me raise and lower sails, as well as a boom bang to tighten in the boom, and significantly helps bring down the boom, which allows you to sail closer to the wind. This is what's known as a stack pack, which holds my entire mainsail in it and keeps it out of the sun until I'm ready to go sailing. This needs to be raised and lowered, as opposed to my jib, which can be furled and unfurled. All of the major control lines, such as halyards, sheets, travelers, and the main sheet, all go back inside the cockpit here through the Dodger. This keeps me dry and warm. Speaking of warm, this is a little solar shower. It's how I take somewhat hot showers when I want to. Adventureborne is a very simple boat. It means I have to spend less money and maintain less systems. Moving even further back here is my Dodger and my bimini structure. The Dodger again is going to keep waves and spray out of the cockpit, keeps me nice and warm and dry. And then the bimini is an entire aluminum structure that's been fused to the fiberglass of the boat that gives me not only shade on top, solar on top, supports my Starlink for internet, as well as holds up my dinghy and a swim platform. It's a major structure that I've had to put significant work into, but it greatly increases the use and value of the boat. And just like in typical sailor fashion, we've got a new neighbor pulling in. You never know sometimes if your next neighbor is going to be in a vagabond derelict monohull or a nice power cat like this one. All right, now let's get out of the wind and the sun and we'll get inside the cockpit. You can probably hear the difference of just how much quieter it is in here. As well, you don't have the sun beating down on you, which in the tropics is a big deal. This area is known as the Dodger, protecting us from the front. You can think of this like a windshield on a car. Back here we've got the halyards that come back, and these are each on a one-way clutch, meaning when I pull tight on these lines, they'll only come back in, they can't go the other way. But if I want to release them, a karate chop here, and that'll release the line. Got my main sheet as well right here, set on many blocks to give me mechanical advantage. As well, this space has a companionway, which would take you down below. But we'll check that out in a second. Another major upgrade I made to this boat was the cockpit. Instead of having the traditional bench seating on either side, I added 4 planks to give me a cockpit bed. This also allows space for a freezer and a dive locker. Now with the boards up, you see how much storage space I get in here, including a heavily insulated freezer. This allows me to have ice cream if I want to when I'm far off grid. So you see just how much storage space this provides me. This area back here is typically for ventilation on the freezer, and then right here is usually where I keep my dive stuff. I've got fins, mast, snorkel, pole spear, and a few other things just to keep me warm out there. And if I want, I can raise this up as a table and have a picnic out here. And to get to the main lazarette on the boat, which gives me the most storage space, the infinity locker as I call it, I only need to take up 2 of these planks, lift this up, and then this can swing open. The infinity locker truly lives up to its name. I could almost stand up down there, and if I hadn't added all these things, you could probably sleep a couple people in here. But I do have my water maker down there, a unit running across, kiteboarding gear you can see, folding bicycle, a punching bag. I've got different oils and spare parts, fire extinguishers, radio parts, aerial silk, slackline, and all other things I might need all down here. It's a super useful space to keep whatever I need. This cockpit area is a great place to host people. I made these cushions myself out of inexpensive Amazon Pilates mats. It's about 1-inch thick foam. This makes for a really comfortable space to relax, have company over, or if I'm out sailing. And if I need to as well during a long night passage, I can sleep easily several ways here. Moving further aft, we see the big jib sheet winches here. These are the biggest winches I have on the boat, and they also have a self-tailer, which makes it really easy to bring in and let out the jib sheet. You see some of my sailboat gardens, although it's not as much as I would normally have on here. Right now I've got some aloe plants growing, which are great for drinks as well as helping for sunburn. Now here we've got the helm, the heart of the sailboat. From here, I can stand up and have vision 360 degrees around me. As well, I've got my engine controls right here, forward, reverse, and then also to take it out of gear to help charge the batteries. Over here, these 2 panels here control my depth sounder and my autopilot. This is essential for long distance travel. Underneath the cockpit bench is jerry jugs for diesel, gasoline, and propane. This is a freshwater shower hose, which I can take, mount right here, and take fresh showers. Although I do have to be careful depending on where I am. Privacy might be an issue. But normally, I'm anchored far off grid alone, and I don't have to worry about any sort of privacy. To help save on water consumption, I normally jump in the ocean, jump back out, suds up, jump back in to rinse off, and then a final freshwater rinse, that way I'm salt free. Here in the aft section of the sailboat, we've got 2 more lazarettes. This holds lines, buoys, fenders, other things like that. And then right here is one of the best features of Adventureborne, the swim platform. This took me a couple years to get right, but now that I have, it gives me 2 more feet of highly usable space on the boat. The usefulness of this swim platform cannot be overstated, both for just fun, lounging around, jumping off into the water, filleting fish, as well as for a safety precaution, as well for just day-to-day use when I need to onload and offload things from the dinghy. This is a Highfield 310 Hypalon rigid hull inflatable dinghy. Got a 15 horsepower 2-stroke Yamaha on the back. This is the ultimate adventure dinghy. It can go anywhere and do anything. It's exactly what I need. You can think of a dinghy a lot like a house and a car. If the sailboat's a house, the dinghy is a car. A dinghy is absolutely essential to get around to the shallower, interesting places that the sailboat's already brought you close to. But with the sailboat's draft of 4.5 feet, you can never go that close into shore. So a dinghy, absolutely essential. All right, now that we've thoroughly toured the outside, let's check out the inside of the sailboat. Welcome down below. The first thing most people say when they come down below is, wow, it's bigger on the inside. For only a 38-foot sailboat, there's a ton of space down below. And with all this well-crafted original hardwood, it has a very homey, earthy feel to it. Now, I personally prefer usually to live here in the aft cabin. The aft cabin sits right below the cockpit here. And believe it or not, this is meant for 2 people, though normally you go in feet first, not head first. But for me, it's just 1 person. I like to use this side here for storage and go in head first. It's a very comfortable bed back here. As well, I've got a ton of storage on the side. These are drones, safety equipment, medical equipment, more drones, whatever I might need. It's just a great place for storage because I usually don't put 2 people back here. Plenty of fans for ventilation, keeps the area cool. And then I've got all the clothes storage that I could want. Here is sort of like a dresser from pants and shirts that I might wear in public. And then up here I like to keep shorts and whatever I might want to work in. You'll find a lot of little cubbies like this on the boat that are really good for storage. It's a good spot for me to keep socks and underwear. And then in here is a little closet so I can hang up whatever I might need for my nice dress shirts, as well as have a little bit more storage down here. No space goes to waste on this boat. Both cabins do have a door, so you have total privacy back here. This is where the engine is inside here, so I have doors for access to work on it. The fuel tank is just back in there. And then here, the MPPT solar charge controllers. Underneath me is the lithium battery bank that I built myself, and then a 3,000 watt inverter. This is essential stuff for the boat that lets me live really like anybody else in a house. Moving on out of here, let's check out the galley. This full kitchen allows me to do all the cooking I might need on a 2-burner propane stove. And down here, you've got a broiler and an oven inside. And you'll notice the stove moves a little. This is a gimbaling stove. Now, the purpose of a gimbaling stove is when you're out in the ocean and the boat's rocking side to side, you won't lose your dinner. But when you are in a stable place, if you want, you can also lock it down. And now you're good to cook and not worry about it moving around on you. Behind the stove, we've got storage space for cups, sugar, salt, coffee, peanut butter, whatever I might need back here. And then up top, we've got storage space for napkins, pots and pans, lighters, and then over here I like to have my Tupperware. This is a refrigerator with a large cold plate going all around, and I can have any type of food that I want. Right now I've got some kale, bacon, and even those frozen blueberries from earlier. And when this is down, it can be used as a countertop space. But most often I'm grabbing ingredients from here. I usually prefer to cut them right here, and then I've got my knife selection here. This double tub stainless steel sink is great for washing dishes and drying dishes, although right now I have in here sprouts that I'll be making. I typically don't use the pressurized water system. Instead, I prefer to use the foot pump here, so I have both my hands ready and I use only the minimum amount of water. Check it out. The water that's in here is reverse osmosis water maker water, so it's as pure as possible, so you can drink it, shower with it, wash your dishes, and even use it to rinse the sprouts. And lastly, I've got 2 more compartments, the herbs and spice cabinet, which I get a lot of use out of. And then over here is an incredible amount of storage, both for silverware and then anything else you might need in the kitchen. Again, no space is wasted on Adventureborne. Moving on to the Salon, the living room of the sailboat. Sitting at the dining table, you'll notice it's actually separated into 3 different sections. A leaf on either side that can come up and then be propped up, as you can see here. This is the snack bin, which is always well stocked. And with this leaf down, you can pull out a board, double the cushions, take these off, and you have space to sleep 2 more people. Adventureborne actually sleeps 8 people in beds, 2 in the aft cabin, 2 in the forward cabin, 2 here, 1 here on the couch, and then 1 behind me in the sea berth. Let's check that out. This is known as a sea berth, and it's one of the most comfortable beds when the boat is actually underway sailing, particularly on a starboard tack, where the sailboat is leaned over this way. When that happens, your body gets slightly pressed against the hull here, and you hear the waves lapping against it. But normally, for me, I just use it as a place to keep some towels, a subwing, a pillow, and it's a really great spot when I have extra crew. I just need a place to keep a few more people. Above this, you'll notice I have these little trays here. These are my indoor boat garden trays. The 6 of these allows me to grow anything like basil, rosemary, oregano, or any other type of small plant. I keep a map of the Caribbean here front and center just to remind me of where I might be going. It's crazy to believe that not too long ago I was down here, and now I'm all the way up here, soon to be even further north. The starboard side of Adventureborne here is usually a walkway, but you can lift this side up. This does block access to the V-berth, but normally you put this leaf up when you're doing a big dinner. I think my record so far has been 12 people around this table. It gets tight, but you can fit them in. Behind me, I've Got a full library of all different boats, from sailing to how things work. Here's how to keep the produce. It's really nice to have a change of pace of having fresh fruits and vegetables on the boat, only possible because we're near civilization right now. Behind the cushions on both sides here, tons of food storage for a huge amount of food that I'm able to store and easily access. I have further food storage underneath the floorboards, as well as a lot under the V-berth. Speaking of which, let's check out the V-berth now. The V-berth has the largest bed on the boat, although if you're at a rough anchorage and the bow is bouncing up and down in waves, it can be very uncomfortable. But right now, where I'm in a nice secure anchorage and I've got the breeze coming in, it's a beautiful place to sleep or just lounge around and relax. And similar to the aft cabin, a lot of times I'll sleep in here head first, but if I've got company with me, we'll both sleep the way you're supposed to, which is your head up here and your feet going that way. That way your upper body, which is more triangular shaped, takes up more space back here, and your feet goes towards the front. Storage space ever being a premium, I keep more items up here, including a bow, monofin, one of my favorite toys, the Sub-NATO Super Jet. Under the cushions, you've got even more storage for food or other supplies on the boat. We've got lots of fans for ventilation when there isn't wind. Got storage space over here for clothes, pants, socks, things like that. And then over here we've got the biggest closet on the boat where I keep my foul weather gear, big wool jackets, things like that. All right, now let's head back for the editing station. This is the editing station where I spend a lot of my time editing videos and working on my YouTube channel. It's not exactly a huge area, but it packs a lot into a small space. You can tell this space only barely fits me, and I made it just that. Custom chair, customized the table, everything so I can spend as much time right here working on my laptop. Right here within arm's reach, we've got all the things that I need. I've got my electrical displays here, my 120 volt AC panel, my 12 volt DC panel, bilge pumps, battery monitors, diesel gauge, starter battery voltage, RPMs, engine temperature. I've got flashlights, I've got VHF radios, too, Insta360, other cameras right nearby. I've got so many things right here at my fingertips because this effectively is my job right here. This is what pays for the whole operation. But it's not just what you see up here. There's still even more space down here, where I've got all my different camera bags and accessories ready to go. And then in here, I've got things for charging. And here's where I do most of the charging for my action cameras, which is very important. It's the main way that I film. All right, now let's move from the editing station to the head. Pretty simple, but let's go through everything. Obviously the toilet here, this is the Jabsco head. It's a simple toilet that uses a manual pump, both to pump water in and pump waste out. Seawater in and your waste out to a septic tank where it can be treated later. It's definitely not the biggest toilet, but it's got more than enough space for most people. I'm able to use regular toilet paper in my septic tank, something most boats are not able to do. To the right of me here is what I call my workshop table. This is actually a large piece of starboard, and so if I ever ding it up, I can repair it or change it out quickly. And that's because down below here is the rest of the workshop. This is where I keep all of my tools. The amount of tools I'm able to keep in here is pretty impressive, and these are just the tools so I can get at them quickly. These are not all the tools, but just the most important ones. Everything from screwdrivers and wrenches to power tools like a drill, and my favorite, the grinder, just in case anything ever goes too wrong, I can't really fix it. And then lastly, in the back here, we've got some shelf space and some cubby space for toiletries. Now you'll notice I've got this one pretty stocked and this one empty. It's because I've got a crew member coming today, so I'll let them put their stuff right here so they feel right at home. It really does give you all the storage space you need back here for any of your personal items. Then over here, this is the chemicals closet. It has everything from dish soap to WD-40 and everything in between. As well, I've got spare toilet paper, spare canvas, and spare fiberglass back in here in case I need to make any repairs. All right, moving out of the head, let's take a look at the last component to the boat, the engine room. This easily comes away from the stairs. Put this off on the side. Now I've got great access to work on my engine. This is a 2007 Volvo Penta D240. It's a 40 horsepower diesel engine that is just rock solid and has never failed me. Over the past 6.5 years since I bought Adventureborne, I've sailed her nearly 10,000 nautical miles. From as far north as Cape Cod, Massachusetts, through New York City, down the entire East Coast, through the Atlantic Intercoastal Waterway, all the way into the Florida Keys, across the Gulf Stream to the best of the beautiful Bahamas, and eventually down into the Dominican Republic to continue sailing eastward against the trade winds along the thorny path. From wonderful St. Martin, I'd enjoy international island hopping southwards, cruising one paradise after another till my furthest sailing destination of Grenada. Then, slowly back up to do it all over again till I arrived back home in the US of A. This sailboat, she's been so much more to me than just fiberglass, rigging, and many refits. She's been my home, my means of inexpensive international travel, the best way to live my dreams, and the catalyst for ultimate freedom. She's given me solitude when needed and adventure when I craved it. Growing along the way by being my own captain has taught me patience, self-reliance, indomitability, and most of all, how to slow down and enjoy the little things. But now, a new adventure is calling me, and as hard as it is to let go, I must to move forward. It's time for someone else to write the next chapter with this capable sailboat. Check the link in the description below if you're interested in buying Adventureborne and realizing your own sailing dream. Because if you're ready to set sail, she's ready to take you there. Saying goodbye to this boat isn't easy. It's saying goodbye to a part of my life. Though it's not the end of the adventure, but the beginning of something totally new. Something that combines the best of land and sea, melds sails and motors, connects the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean, allows every adventure from before the Rocky Mountains to well past the Appalachian Trail, opening all of North America for exploration. This is my next dream, the ultimate modular amphibious adventure rig, UMAR, an adventure lifestyle not restricted to the sea, but fully capable of going anywhere and doing anything. Though this wide capability will come at the cost of excelling at nothing, its versatility will continue to keep me on my toes and you on the edge of your seat for years to come. For now, it's just a big idea, but so was Adventureborne once upon a time. There's power in dreaming, and there's joy and fulfillment in seeing dreams made into reality. Like my dreams in years past, I don't know what will happen, but that's what makes this an adventure worth pursuing. How boring would life be if we knew what would happen next? Thanks for watching this video to the end. I hope it inspires you in life. I'll see you on the next adventure. Cheers.